on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Basketball and more.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by The Sportscast. Today is March 13th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to The Sportscast on all our channels, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Jersey Boys Sports Talk is streaming live on any of your favorite podcast streaming channels. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you hear today, please smash the like button, hit the notifications. You can listen to us every week live on Thursdays, and you can get some comments, put some comments in, and please go back to some of the history. You see us, hopefully you can see a little bit back on stage. That's what our logo looks like on YouTube. Leave some comments, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Today is a good day. There's a lot of big things happening. Mr. Jones, how's it going with you over there?
Oh, wonderful. We just started flag football for the kids around here. We had 115 the first day. So, yeah, it's been kind of busy the last 3 days.
115. How many kids are you going to keep, or how many teams you going to make?
Are we keeping everybody? Because we got like the 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10.
Oh, so you have different. Right. Do you have stats? Do you have so you're gonna have them on down? How many people are helping?
We have 10 coaches. Like 10 coaches. We got a support staff. We got all the parents are out there, every day watching.
All right, well, that's not bad. 10 coaches, that's 17 per coach, right? Plus some help. That's all right. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but still a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
Dude, I did travel basketball since my son was in 4th grade, plus coach him on other sports. I know the deal, man. It gets crazy, but it's worth it. At least, I don't know, at least you're not traveling, right? You're just playing in one field.
Playing on one field and, traveling to like 2 or 3 other different places, but that's it.
Yeah,
and the weather's been in the 40s, man.
It's in the 40s?
Yes, man. It's a little nippy out there, man, trying to mess around play football in the spring around here.
Well, with us, we had to travel like for the weekends. I mean, we had to stay over. I mean, it was like every weekend. We were every other weekend. And then you didn't know if you won, if you leave home early. If you won, you stay there late. You'd have to come back, go to work. Your weekends were gone from Friday on. Depends on the bracket. You know how tournament play is. All right, let's bring one of our favorite guest hosts to the stage, Mr. Joey Bag of Donuts, the host of The Donut Bag. Mr. Joey Toscano, welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Can you hear us, Joe?
I can. Can you see me? Oh, there I am.
Yeah, we can.
Hello.
Yeah, I can see you, and we can see. Welcome to the show. And from the Donut Bag, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Big Pittsburgh fan. We got a lot of information to talk about Pittsburgh. We'll talk about the top headlines. Well, let's start off with first the Byron. Where you want to go start with? What quarterback moves did you see? Because it's really all about the quarterback carousel and then the changing of the receivers. So, what do you think about? What's your first surprise quarterback move?
Mine was Seattle trading Geno and then turn around and sign Sam Darnold. That was like that one came out of left field. I didn't even think, you figured if they needed a quarterback after they traded the one they had, but it was just weird. Geno's played pretty well, out there. And that was like, oh, okay. And then they turned around and traded DK Metcalf. Then Tyler Lockett got, released. So they've gone a lot of changes out there in Seattle. But that, for me, that was the biggest one, that day.
I will have to say I agree with you, but I'm not surprised he's going to his coach. What I don't understand is Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll gets rid of Russell Wilson, had some thoughts of bringing Russell Wilson, retires, goes into the executive consulting, comes back coaching, and brings back a quarterback that, been playing pretty good, but I mean, he hasn't gone anywhere with them. And you're bringing a quarterback. And Joey, I want to have your opinion. Again, like I said, to me, that's got to be one of the toughest divisions in football. Now you got Hall of Fame coaches. You got 3 of the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, right now, and Joey, I want you to speak on this, but right now, if you had to rank them, in what order would you rank those quarterbacks in that division? You got Mahomes is number
NFC
1.
West?
Yeah, in the AFC. In Kansas City.
Oh, in the AFC. Well, yeah, Mahomes is number
Kansas.
1. Herbert's number 2.
In just that division. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Bo Nix number
Mahomes
3.
number 1. Herbert number 2. Nick. Oh, geez. That's a kind of a tie between Nix and Geno now.
I take Nix over Geno.
Yeah.
What would you do, Byron?
I can see that.
Oh.
But it's close.
It's close. You could flip flop them too.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
except
close.
For the only place Geno Smith was successful and got paid when he was resurrected at Seattle. Now he's going to a different team
under Pete Carroll.
And it was under Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a lot older. He doesn't have the same receivers that he has. You got a team that got an issue, whether it's in the locker room, a winning. They haven't won in years. I mean, they've been bad for a long time, right? And you're going against some of the best talent and the best coaches in football. As much as I don't like Sean Payton. But at the end of the day, you got Bo Nix, who was successful as a rookie, right? Played really good, more impressed than I thought. And he played like 40-something games in college, 44 games or 50 or 60 games. He played a lot of college games. He's got a lot of experience under his belt. Hey, Geno Smith, I was always happy for. I always like those comeback guys. Him, Alex Smith, all those. But that was a big one that surprised me. And then trading a Metcalf surprised me as well. And then picking up Sam Darnold over there, that whole mixture threw me off. Joe, what do you think about that?
I was surprised. Yeah, it looked like Seattle was, doing a total rebuild or something like that, getting rid of DK Metcalf and trading Geno Smith, and then they get Sam Darnold, and the jury's still on Sam Darnold. Who knows how much of his success was just being in Minnesota with a really good coach and a really good team. So, I mean, that remains to be seen. But yeah, Seattle's making changes.
Yeah, and also it could be a new regime, right? They wanted to start moving out Pete Carroll's people. Right. Think about who they moved. They moved some heavy hit players, right? And and maybe they just started wanting to take back over his team, or maybe Pete Carroll was putting his nose in a little bit more than they wanted to. But for him to come back at 72 to want to coach, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but his contract is not that long. I think it's like 3 or 4 years. It's not like 4 years.
His lifespan isn't that long.
Really that long?
You don't have much time, man.
You're not giving a 72-year-old guy a 20-year contract. Come on now.
Okay, I'm gonna sign him up for life insurance because we run life insurance tables up to 120. How's that? So sign him up to 120. I mean, come on, man. The brother, shoot.
Okay, he's got a 3-year contract.
Hey, look, I'm old too. I got less life left than I had passed. Right? I got less life left in me than I have already passed. That brother's got more than I do. And coaching, head coach is a lot of work.
He's a young 72, man. You look at the way he bounces up and down the sideline. He's in great
shape. He's got a great attitude. I'm sure he's got great coaches. I'm just in shock. What is it they're trying to do? Why would you bring? Is it they're just saying to him, come in here and help us rebuild to start setting the path for the future? You think Pete Carroll? I'm going to think every head coach that has a Pete Carroll mentality, who's won at collegiate level, who's won at the NFL level, he wants to win. And I don't conceivably see Yeah, and not only does he want to win, he wants to win now. I just don't see a lot of that. You know what I mean? I don't see a lot of that taking place that early with the Raiders. Anyway, that was one of my biggest moves. And then DJ Metcalf going to Pittsburgh, right?
Yes. Yep.
That's a good move, right? You needed another receiver. You needed another receiver, right? Because that one receiver, you saw what happened. One receiver is not going to cut it for you. You need some kind of threat. He's a big enough, tough enough threat. And did they get Metcalf to keep Wilson, or did they get Metcalf because they just needed a receiver? What's the word out in Pittsburgh?
They desperately needed a receiver. Basically, not having a good other receiver besides George Pickens last year ruined the entire Steelers season. It broke everything. So they were set out to get a good receiver. And you would think most of DK Metcalf's success came with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is really good at throwing those deep balls. So you might put 2 and 2 together and say Russell Wilson's coming back to Pittsburgh, but that is not the case. It doesn't, or at least it doesn't look to be the case.
You don't think? Well, do you think Russell Wilson's going to come back?
No, I don't. Okay. I think, unfortunately, I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa.
Aaron Rodgers.
Move it along.
Yeah.
Okay, my question for Joey then is: Mr. Pickens going to get along with DK? You know, since it's obvious that DK Metcalf is going to be the number one guy.
Here's a question. Here's a real question: Is George Pickens going to be here?
Why would Metcalf be number one?
Oh, Metcalf's definitely number one.
Oh, he's the number one receiver.
Over Pickens?
I have 150 million reasons why DK Metcalf is number one. But I mean, both they're both. It depends on what your definition of a number one wide receiver is, but they could both be considered, wide receiver one. They're definitely both wide receiver one on the team. But the question remains: are the Steelers going to keep George Pickens? They traded to get DK Metcalf. They traded a second-round draft pick this year, so they don't have a second-round draft pick, and that's very valuable to the Steelers. So I could totally see them getting back that second-round pick by trading George Pickens, but we'll see. I mean, I'd say it's 50-50 right now whether they trade him or not.
Let me tell you, that would be absurd for me unless they think they can get a good receiver in the draft, because Pickens is good. I mean, there's no doubt he carried that team. When that offense was rolling, he was a big part of that offense. So
he's
now
good, but he's an immature nutcase.
Yeah, but all your receivers are. There's not a receiver that was good that didn't come out of there that was a problem.
He's way beyond.
I get it.
Even for Pittsburgh wide receiver standards, he's way beyond the nutcase level.
Then you got to replace him. You've already shown that you don't have enough of a running game, and you cannot sustain having only one receiver. I mean, no team has only one receiver. Right, and you don't even have a quarterback yet. So much less, all these quarterbacks have receivers. Right, look at the receivers they have. You can mention a quarterback, you can mention a receiver. Right, and if you mention all the guys who made it to the playoffs, right, you can talk about their receivers. If you got Patrick Mahomes, look at the receivers he's had. Look at Josh Allen, look at the receivers he's had. Look at, Brady had all the receivers he had. Everybody who's made it up there, look at the receivers he had. Look at the Eagles. Look at the receivers they have. Right? So they had good quarterbacks, but they all have receivers. Right? So that's interesting. Pickens, you need something, because, the other thing is, the question is that how is it? It's got to be, everything I'm hearing. There's a lot of talk about Tomlin, right? And the talk about Tomlin, let's see, do I have that here? Let's take this off for now. I don't have that. Mason Rudolph returned to the Steelers. Are you kidding me? Is that true?
He is back. Yeah. He was gone 1 year, and now he's back.
Yeah, Tomlin is hurting me, man. Let me tell you, I'm hearing that the fans are in an uproar. I think I think that, look, You know how big of a fan I am of Tomlin, right? I've always said it, Byron. You know it, right? But he may have to be the next Andy Reid. Like he has to go somewhere where he can get, put the pieces he wants in place, show what it's because I think he leaves, Pittsburgh. You got to figure out who you're going to get, who you're going to replace him, and it may be a long road, right? Because it wasn't like the Eagles were significant the second Andy Reid left. They needed to rebuild. So they did win 2 Super Bowls since Andy Reid left, but it took a while for them to come back since he left. And he's dominated ever since he's left. Yeah, it took him a little bit, to make a move. So, Tomlin, I'm looking at the numbers. Chuck Noll had losing seasons for years after he won Super Bowls, and the Steelers didn't get rid of him. Now he won 4, but his records were terrible in the years that he had losing seasons. Tomlin's never had a losing season, but Tomlin has not had a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger.
And Tomlin,
everybody who's made it far. What's that?
Tomlin has not done anything in the postseason. Hasn't won a playoff game in I think 8 years now.
He hasn't. True. But he hasn't had a quarterback. I think the Steelers are doing an injustice. Where do you think that's falling on? It's got to fall on the GM. It's got to fall on somebody because you can't give a coach who's taken players, Mason Rudolph's of the world, anyone who he's had, throw it at him, he wins. He just can't get past the playoff. But go look at the teams that were in the playoffs. Look at the quarterbacks that are in the playoffs. They're great coaches, but look at all the quarterbacks. You got Joe Burrow, you got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson, you got what's his name? You got Jordan Love, you got who's the young man from I like him from Houston.
CJ Stroud,
Jalen Hurts.
You get Jalen Hurts. You got CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, you got Justin Herbert. I mean, look at the quarterbacks. Okay, is there any quarterback the Steelers had during Tomlin's tenure that you'd pick over any of the guys I just mentioned?
Ben, but that's the problem.
No. That's it, just Ben. But even Ben, they held on to Ben too long.
Exactly, and this is
the
problem.
Held on to Ben too long.
They knew that Ben was getting old. And they did nothing about it. The only quarterback that they drafted high was Mason Rudolph, and that was 6 years ago. They did nothing they had no plan, and part of that was when Ben saw that they would try to get another quarterback to replace him, he got all mad and angry and stuff like that. But still, who cares if you piss someone off? They were left with no plan after Ben, and now they've been scrambling. They've had Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson. It's just been a bunch of crap. And, a lot of teams are going through, not having a Hall of Fame quarterback or not having a good quarterback. You mentioned like 10 guys. Well, what about the other 20 some teams in the league?
But they're not in the playoffs.
Struggling.
But they're not in the playoffs. The point being is that they're not. My argument isn't that Tomlin, woe's Tomlin, that the other guys, he's like the other teams that have bad quarterback. My saying is, I'm just talking about people wanting to get rid of him and understanding that what's Pittsburgh's problem for such a great organization. We talk about the Giants with terrible decisions with the lines, what they did with their players and so forth. But what is Pittsburgh doing when you got a coach that is taking whatever you give at him and getting you to the door, right? Getting you to the promised land, not to the promised land, to getting you in the tournament to play. And you're not getting him in position to give him a quarterback, knowing who you're going against. I mean, would you take Baker Mayfield over the quarterbacks that Pittsburgh's had?
Hell yeah.
That's my point. That's Baker Mayfield.
And they had a chance to get him.
Maybe with like Pittsburgh, like with Pittsburgh, they probably hang on sometimes just a little bit too long. Like you figure Chuck Noll, they hang on a little bit too long with him. Then what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Bill Cowher
Cowher.
after him. Yeah, Cowher hung on a little bit too long with him.
Yeah.
But it's still,
Right.
most teams, if somebody goes through a 3 or 4 year losing streak or whatever, they get rid of them. They're done, out. But Tomlin has been consistent for as long as he's been. But he just, he wins, gets the playoffs, and doesn't make anything.
That's what the Steelers go off on, is we have stability. Yes, they hold on to people for too long, coaches and players, but that's what they sell is we're a stable organization. We've only had 3 coaches in the last 50 years. We're stable. We don't fire coaches every year like Cleveland and all these other teams. So yes, the stability is nice, but also it's not so nice when you have a situation where you're not winning.
Okay, let me play the other side. They talk with Tom and said, Tom, why don't you, gracefully, go and talk to another team. How many teams you think would take him?
About
A
20
lot.
of them. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And put him with a quarterback, he's going to be Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
And he's young.
Exactly.
Tom is still young. What's Tomlin? 50?
He's about 50. Yeah, he could still coach for another. Well, if he's like Pete Carroll, he could coach for another 20, 30 years.
22 years. Yeah, right. Mike Tomlin, right? How old is Mike Tomlin? Let's see. So my biggest issue is I don't understand how how Pittsburgh is Mike Tomlin. How Pittsburgh just doesn't. He's 52 years old. I mean, he's 52 years old. He's got a lot of coaching left in him. I'm like I said, I think the Steelers hold on too long, but I think he kind of gets. You can go back to his records. He's lost in the playoffs. He's got a winning. He's never had a losing season. I go, but at the end of the day, he's had going into the playoffs. He doesn't have the most valuable position you need to win the Super Bowl, right? Unless you build one of those Raven defenses or those Chicago Bear defenses. And even your defense, I thought, let you down.
Yes.
Right? But
Correct.
If you look at his quarterbacks, I mean, but that's also that's got to be on the Steelers. Like, what have you done to try to get a quarterback? Oh, except for that's not true. You tried for Kenny Pickett. I mean, that was one of your picks. That was just bad.
You know what happens when you get a quarterback in the first round and it's a disaster. It sets you back a lot of years. All you have to do is look at the Giants. Same thing. I'm sticking it to you. It's the same thing. It puts you back years. And now the Steelers are in this purgatory of what do we do at quarterback? Look, I mean, even this year, right now, they're begging Aaron Rodgers. They're begging him to come off the beach to think about playing for him. It's a disaster. I mean, the Steelers have mangled. They've mangled the quarterback position for the past few years, but they've really screwed it up now.
But don't you think also he's a Russell Wilson leaves Browns meeting without a deal and heads Friday to visit the Giants from Miss Vonda Jones. He's meeting about I liked Russell with the Steelers and with Tomlin. I don't like him for the Giants. What do you think, Byron? You tell me first. He can't run. We got no line.
Can't run. We have one true, number one receiver. The tight ends are all hurt all the time. The offensive line is still suspect, even though they're signing a ton of offensive linemen now. And I don't think it would be a good fit for Russell Wilson to come to the Giants, in his golden years, to get beat up behind that offensive line. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
I agree. I mean, look, and then they're also chasing Aaron
72.
Rodgers. Giants chasing Aaron Rodgers.
And he's even worse.
He's even worse. He's even older.
He's already got hurt on that. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd run away from MetLife Stadium as fast as I could.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's where you got hurt. Why would you want to play
Yep.
there again? And you already see how a disaster the Giants are. You're going to go to a worse New York team? You know, New York ain't going to give that up. I mean, it's just terrible. It is terrible.
Oh, and the Giants also hosted Joe Flacco. They brought him in.
Oh, Joe. Man, you got to give Joe
You know,
Flacco credit.
you know who should,
The
you know
brother-
who they
the
should
brother
host? Pete Carroll.
The brother was eating turkey one year, a couple years ago, watching TV, nice and comfortable, have a nice bank account, comes off the couch and goes, and now he's been playing for the next 3 years. And get paid. I mean, he didn't get paid crazy money, but he's paid millions more than what he was sitting home.
Yeah, if they're gonna keep giving me $5, $6, $7 million a year to come out there and possibly hold the clipboard, and maybe might have to go. I think I'm gonna keep doing it. What is it? I think he's like 37 or something like that.
Yeah, he's younger. He's younger than Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers.
I think Flacco is 40 or something like that.
Rodgers wants to play for another 2 or 3 years. That is interesting. I wouldn't want. I don't want Russell Wilson with I can't believe Mason Rudolph went back. Maybe just for some backup stability. We also got you also got Devontae Adams signs with the Chargers. That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad move for Justin
He
Herbert.
signed with the Rams.
Rams.
He signed with the Rams. Oh, he put this one wrong. Chargers.
He signed with LA, so yeah.
He signed with an LA team.
He's in LA.
All right, my producer put that up around. He signed with the Rams. That's not a bad move for him. If the Rams keeping Stafford? They re-signed him. Yes, they re-signed him. So that's good. Let me tell you, that put some danger. Let me tell you the stat. The Rams were close to beating the Eagles. They were close to beating the Eagles. They were coming down there, getting ready to win that game. You know, so they were close. The Seahawks signing Sam Darnold, we talk about that. How do you think he's going to do there, Byron?
Who knows? They have a pretty good running game. The offensive line is pretty good, but they only really have Njigba, Smith, and Njigba Smith, the one receiver they had from Ohio State guy for a couple of years, and that's it. That I know of. And usually you have a pretty good tight end, but for the most part, I don't think they really didn't think this out as far as getting rid of DK. But that's their team, and they probably didn't want to pay him the $150 million or whatever he got. That's probably what.
Well, that's the thing. DK wanted out. DK requested a trade, so I don't know if they wanted to get rid of him, but DK wanted out, so that's why they got rid of him.
And then he goes to Pittsburgh and gets a big old giant contract.
Mm-hmm.
That must be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then look, Aaron Rodgers is talking. I know he was talking with the Steelers and the Giants. I didn't know he was talking with the Vikings. That's interesting. He's talking with the Vikings. They, Daniel Jones is going to the Colts, so he's going to compete there. Aaron Rodgers going to the Vikings. It's almost like Brett Favre, right? This is almost like a Brett Favre move.
The exact same thing for Brett Favre did. Yeah.
I would tell you that I think Aaron Rodgers is better off with the Vikings than he is with any other of these teams.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you don't know, JJ McCarthy may be back for the first few weeks. First of all, 2, they've been able to do it with Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, right? And now you put Aaron Rodgers in there. He's got a line. He's got killer receivers. Because Aaron Rodgers last few games he did pretty well. I mean, he had he had a good percentage of touchdowns versus interceptions. So I think that would be a way better move there. Who'd you, Tommy? What is the Jack?
Hey,
what is Tommy? What is he have? Like what he signed for? Like free pizza and a couple million?
Some gabagool.
I mean, I don't understand. Like what is it they see in this guy? Why are you wasting money on that? Get a line.
Wait, Victor, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's Italian, and he's an Italian guy, and he has something on somebody. That's why he keeps getting signed every year. He has something on somebody to keep getting the last 3 years. And he's the only quarterback on the roster. That's it.
Let me see,
Somebody
what is
got to him.
contract?
Somebody got to Mara.
Yep.
I mean, because
they're gonna sign him.
I,
They're gonna sign him to 1-year contract every year for the next 10 years.
Mhm.
He ain't going anywhere.
Mhm.
He's never
Hey,
leaving
man,
New
let
York.
me tell you something. Young, but he's young, so a kid his age, God bless him. He's getting paid $1 million.
He lives at home still. He lives at home in his
He's
his
got no
childhood bedroom over
guarantee.
there.
Well, he's in New Jersey. He can't afford the place.
Exactly. He can't afford. He's not making
Yeah,
enough to live in New York.
yeah, but come on now. What is it, Cedar Grove? He lives like up north. It ain't that expensive to live up there.
My man's living in
Oh,
Newark. He can't hack it in
He's
Manhattan.
making $1 million. He can't afford New Jersey. New Jersey's got state income tax.
Oh man, leave New Jersey alone, man. New Jersey's a great place, man. He's living in
I
his
know.
parents'
I ain't
house,
saying
man.
that bad about New Jersey. I'm just saying he's $1 million. He can't. He's got a contract term. He's paying $1 million
My
a
man
year.
got to take the train in.
I just don't understand. Like with everybody out there, I mean, it's only $1 million. We need offensive line. I don't know.
Well,
I'm just
they
totally.
signed a lot of offensive linemen.
Yes, they. I showed that they re-signed offensive lineman Greg Van Rotten for a 1-year contract, right?
We got James
And
Hudson. We got Hudson from the Browns. Forsythe from
Javon
Seattle.
Holland, safety.
Yeah.
We re-signed Darius Slayton, 3 years. I'm not sure if you like that one.
Who?
I think Slayton's good.
Darius Slayton. I like Slayton.
Yeah.
Hey, and guess who had the same deal last year and turned it down? You get one guess.
Darius Slayton.
The deal that he signed, Darius Slayton, somebody else last year got the same offer and turned it down. I'm going to
Who's
give you
that?
one hint. He played in
What?
the Super Bowl. That's the same offer the Giants gave them. It was like 3 years, $37 million for Saquon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, but that's look, that's
I'm
terrible.
telling you, man.
Look
Look it up, man.
but look at the contract he signed with Philadelphia. They took care of him.
Yeah, to make him the highest paid running back now, what, $20 million a year, whatever it is. Yeah.
He definitely broke it. Remember, they didn't think anyone would crack Christian McCaffrey. There were even talks about Christian McCaffrey being traded.
Yeah, well, they're doing they're smashing that team up out there, 49ers. They got rid of the All-Pro Jusex,
the fullback.
the fullback. He's gone. One of the
They're getting ready to. They got to pay Brock Purdy, and they're probably going to end up paying him like $60 million.
They signed Mac Jones.
Who?
I think that's really interesting because in the year that Mac Jones was drafted, all the talk was, oh, the 49ers are going to get Mac Jones. The 49ers are going to get Mac Jones. And I believe that's the year they traded 3 number 1 draft picks for Trey freaking Lance. Yeah. But, years later, they end up with Mac Jones. Mac Jones could be very good in that system.
Yeah. What happens to Purdy if you're paying him $60 million?
Right?
They won't pay him.
What do you think is going to happen with Purdy?
Think
they're going to keep him?
What do you do?
What weapons do they have left? They got rid of Debo. They got Pearsall. They got McCaffrey. Pearsall.
They got McCaffrey. They got the tight end.
They have Ayuk, the other receiver. That's all they got. Debo, everything ran through him.
They got George Kittle.
Okay, they got him. He's getting up there at age. He's at least 30 or close to it.
Mm-hmm. But, that's what they have. As you ask, I don't know what they're doing, but them signing Mac Jones is a pretty good backup, but they're going to be paying Purdy or they're going to try to make a move for Purdy. I'm wondering what they do. We don't know what they're doing. There's still a lot of activity going out there.
Yeah, but would you give him $60 million a year? What has he done to earn $60 million a year?
We just talked about how there's no good quarterbacks out there. What's your alternative? Mac Jones, Mason Rudolph, Tommy DeVito? There's nothing good out there. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it's supply and demand. There are not enough good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
I would
60,
take Brock.
60.
I don't know about
Think
60.
about that number.
I don't know about 60
For
million.
him,
I don't know
think
about
he's worth
60
it.
million. But the market is going between 40 and 60 million, right? So, but I would take Purdy over Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold had 1 year. Brock Purdy's been pretty consistent except for last year, and they were banged up. And that wasn't all him. But I would take him over Sam Darnold, just because unless Sam Darnold come, you never know. Look, I ain't hating on Sam Darnold. I'm just saying that, that I believe in trust factors, right? It's football's, anything is a game of consistency. You got to be good over time, and he's been to, deep into the playoffs, been to a Super Bowl, and he just had a bad. Yeah, everybody was hurt. They didn't have one full unit of a team. Right. Look at the Chargers. They traded Joey Bosa to Buffalo. That's a pretty good move there. Now the only thing is, if he couldn't stay healthy and warm, he got cut or he got traded.
He got cut.
He got cut, and Buffalo picked him up. Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, let me tell you something. If he couldn't stay healthy in warm weather, that Buffalo weather is tough.
That's true.
That's tough, bubbly.
Yeah, it's a little cold out there.
You in LA and you're getting hurt. You in that freezing ghost, got to dig out your car, your own car out of the snow. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. All right, so what we got here?
But do you think they got to upgrade by they got rid of Von Miller, Buffalo, and now they have Joey Bosa. So now did they upgrade? I know Bosa's younger than Von Miller.
Definitely. Von Miller was washed up. He was yeah, that's a huge upgrade.
Interesting. I thought he played pretty well.
Joey Bosa is only 29 years old.
Really? It seems like he's been playing forever.
Where Joey Bosa was born? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A Florida kid going to Buffalo? Oh, no.
From St. Thomas Aquinas, man. That's where my son went. He's from the same high school. Nick Bosa and my son are in the same grade. They both from St. Thomas Aquinas. Shout out to the Raiders. What you call it? Yeah, man. I mean, I playing in Buffalo's got to be rough. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
the problem with Bosa hasn't stayed healthy. Even Nick is starting to get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just remember those guys played a lot of football their whole lives. I mean, they played, I know where they played a Pop Warner, and they played always up 2 or 3 levels. That's got to take its toll on you. Right. Yeah. They were bred to play football. Those kids were bred to play football. And as a defensive lineman, Byron, you know better than anyone else. That's a lot of, that's a lot of work on your body, running all the time, getting hit by big linemen, chasing people down, hitting running backs, coming full-fledged at you. But imagine doing that, your entire life. Like, because Bosa, didn't both of them have kind of like a little bit of injuries at Ohio State coming in to the NFL?
Yeah.
So I wish them nothing but the best because, they're from here, but I just think going from LA to Buffalo is a problem.
That's a big difference. Big difference.
You're talking about like LA weather to Buffalo weather. Oh man, I can't imagine.
All I can say is dress warm, my man. Dress warm.
Layers.
Yeah. You better get used. You better get used to some sleeves. Get used to some sleeves out there. All right. So what do we have happening? Look at it, and the Cowboys are still doing nothing. Back before we even get to Cowboys, I am stunned with Myles Garrett. He was adamant about, I want out of here. I don't want to play with a team with a quarterback. I want to, and all they had to do is show him the little purse, and that was it. Like, what?
Yeah, but he went as far. He went as far as saying, "I want a meeting with the owner to get out of there," and the owner's like, "Nah, I don't need to talk. Go talk to this other guy."
That to me was the biggest like disappointment. I was so looking forward to seeing him play on a good team. I mean, imagine him going to Philadelphia with
Or
that defense
Buffalo.
already as good as Buffalo, any of those defensive teams that were already good.
Instead,
I mean,
he's going to be stuck in Cleveland the rest of his
He'll be
career.
stuck in Cleveland in quarterback purgatory.
Making $40 million a year. I don't care.
I guess he don't, but I mean,
Paid.
if then that's what he wanted to do, and then that's what he should have wanted to done. But to say all those things and literally, he didn't even wait it out. Like he didn't even wait it out to get to all OTAs, and he signed as fast as possible. As fast as possible.
Change their mind.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
don't
God,
care
it
about
was
winning.
terrible.
He just cares about money and stats. That's it. He's all in for himself.
He got it. And the Washington Commanders are making some moves.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders were set. Remember, did you show us they had like 80 million cap space? They had a lot of money in cap space.
Or some crazy amount.
Some crazy number they had. They're gonna be tough, right? But Philly hasn't. I haven't heard anything about Philly, what they've done yet, right? I'm sure they're gonna need to do something. But the Cowboys, I mean, the Cowboys aren't doing anything. Again,
Nothing.
And I think who's the one who's up? Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons he doesn't want to go through negotiations the way Jerry Jones has done negotiations with all of his players. Waited out to the last second. He wants to sign a contract, get it over, and let's move now. And I don't blame him because I don't understand Jerry Jones. He waits till the last second and then he pays top dollar.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but now the number is $40 million a year. Is Jerry Jones going to pay Micah Parsons $40 million?
He has no choice. What choice does he have?
He should have signed it before because you figure when Crosby got his contract, and then now Garrett got his, and then the younger guy is going to get even more than both of them.
You know what TJ Watt makes? About 31 million. Actually, his deal is up too. You could have had Micah Parsons for like 35, and now you're going to pay him 40. That's $5 extra million that you're going to lose every year because you waited till the last minute, and it might even be more.
Wow,
man! But how much are they gonna? They're gonna have 3 players making how much money, Byron?
No, well they restructured those 2 guys, CeeDee Lamb and the other guy, quarterback Dak Prescott. So the number's a lot, it's not as high as it was. But yeah, now they got Parsons coming up. And poor Jerry Jones, man. I'm sure he's gonna rub his head bald sitting there trying to figure this one out.
But between those 3 players, I mean, you're gonna have 3 players pretty much taking up most of your whole cap.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you got a Washington. You got a Washington team with a young, dynamic quarterback that has a lot of money, and then you got Philadelphia, and you got Philadelphia that is still a good team, and they got young defensive back. Philadelphia's going to be tough for a while. I still don't. I don't know if. Do you think they'll repeat?
Nah.
Byron?
Well, they signed one of our guys, old guys, Adoree Jackson, a corner.
Wouldn't you? If I was the Eagles, I'd sign as many Giants as possible. Apparently, they do pretty well when they come to the Eagles.
Whoa, man! Whoa! That's a bit much, man. That's a bit much.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying,
that hurts.
Giants are dumb enough to give somebody in their own division. You know what I mean? They should. The
truth hurts.
The truth hurts,
man. I know.
It truth hurts. Hey, listen, like I said, I was happy for Saquon. I still would have preferred him breaking that record and winning the Super Bowl, but I'm happy for him. He still had 26 carries. So, but at the end of the day, I just think that I think it's right now. Cowboys are not going to be relevant for some time. I mean, unless something changes. I mean, who do they have as receivers? They got CeeDee Lamb, and who else?
That's
Whoever
it.
the other guys are.
Exactly. So,
That's it.
Cowboys in trouble. At least they ain't got to worry about the Giants. We need linemen, man. And then what are we gonna do? I think, hey, Daniel Jones going to Indianapolis. I don't think that's a bad move. Give him a restart. He's got, maybe.
You're gonna take it.
Mhm.
It's real
he's
smart
gonna
for
probably
him
take
because
that.
Anthony
Good job.
Richards stinks.
Watch it.
What's that?
Yeah,
He's gonna
He
start.
stinks.
I think.
he's going to start.
Who stinks? Anthony Richardson. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
No,
He's
Anthony.
he's
He stinks.
Yeah. I think Daniel Jones should be able to take that, and let's see what he can do. Maybe he could resurrect his career there, right? Because let's see what he could do if he's got. Because Indianapolis hasn't been really bad. They've been okay, and then sometimes they've been surprisingly good. So they're not on the bottom of the barrel, but they're like mid-level. But now let's see what Daniel can do with a mid-level team, because he was with a very tiny team. You know what I mean? A team that was just bad, right? I really wanted
It
to
was a
see him get a
train
chance.
wreck, man.
I wanted to skid him. I wanted to see him at least get some snaps as a Viking. I would have liked to seen how he would have done in that system.
Yeah.
That's something I would have wanted to see, because now let's see what he looks like, because he's a really good downfield thrower with an offensive line and some serious weapons. I would like to see what they do there, but hey, Sam Darnold did what he did, and I think it's fine, and hopefully he moves on to the next level. So Joey, what's happening over there in Pittsburgh? So what is the sentiment of the Steelers? Are they? Is it a lynch mob trying to get Tomlin out of there? Is it? If it were me, I'd be just yelling from the rooftops, get him a quarterback. Forget about everything else. Get him a quarterback.
It's absolute chaos. We don't have a quarterback. We just got Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph might be your starting quarterback. Who knows what? I mean, all they're doing right now is they're begging Aaron Rodgers, please, can you come off the beach and play for us? Please. I mean, this is where we're at.
Gonna play for somebody. He's going to play for somebody.
He's going to play for somebody, but who knows? Maybe the Giants will want him and pay him a lot of money. Maybe he'll be smart and go to the Vikings or something like that. That's where we're at. The fan base is furious. People don't want Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Look at what he did to the Jets. The Jets were a pretty good team until he showed up and just ruined them. Is he going to do the same thing to the Steelers?
They were a good defensive team. They weren't a good team. What he messed up was getting rid of Salah. Getting rid of Salah was a bad move.
They were a good defensive team until they got rid of Salah, and then look what happened. They went to hell. The Steelers are in a disaster right now. They thought Justin Fields was their guy, and they thought they could get him cheap. But then the Jets said, "Hey, we'll give you some money." They're only paying him $20 million a year, which is peanuts compared to for an NFL starting quarterback right now. And the Steelers thought that was too much. Well, now look what they're stuck with. They're stuck with either Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson again. Great.
And what would they have to pay Russell Wilson?
Who knows?
Remember, he was probably 38 million.
Maybe probably less than that. Probably around 25, 30. Still,
I would have spent it on the 25-year-old.
Exactly.
I would have kept Justin Fields. What would you have done, Byron?
I'd have kept Justin.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's young.
You got a 25-year-old, or you going?
He was 4-2 when he kicked him out,
or a 41-year-old.
Woo. Yeah, but maybe Aaron Rodgers will go there and behave, because Mike Tomlin doesn't get that much respect. He's not that kind of coach you can go in there and run over top of him. So maybe he might be a different guy, going to the Steelers with Tomlin there.
Exactly.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers with the Jets had.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. He wanted his own offensive coordinator. He got all his buddies, Lazard and Devontae Adams, and he got all his buddies. He's not going to be able to do that with the Steelers. But still, he's still going to do what he wants. He's not going to follow the offensive coordinator's game plan. He's not going to listen to Tomlin. He's not going to listen to anybody, and he's going to air all his dirty laundry every week on that McAfee show. It's going to be a circus. Look, he's making a circus now. He's just like, I'm strolling on the beach. I don't know what I'm going to do. Look, everybody look at me. And that's all. It's just going to be all about him. He's a narcissist diva that ruins teams. And I want nothing to do with him.
But I think where Byron's point is, and I agree with, one, I think he had to be humbled. He didn't want to go out the way he played. And two, nobody can do, though. You can't do that to a Pittsburgh with a Mike Tomlin. Like it's not going to happen. Tomlin will sit him fat. Mason Rudolph will be your starting quarterback with Aaron Rodgers on the bench. And that would be the worst thing for Aaron Rodgers, to be healthy and sitting on the bench. You understand? So I think that if anything was going to happen, he's playing his game like it's nothing. But if you were to go to Pittsburgh, it would be under Mike Tomlin's rule. Not on because as it is, think about the Jets owner. They listened to him, they did whatever he wanted. Steelers owners don't even make changes when you want them to make changes.
It wasn't the Jets owners. It was the Jets owners' teenage kids that were telling everybody.
That was obsessed with Madden.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, he listened to him, right? So it's just as bad. It's one thing to take an idea. The other thing is the guy executing it and doing it poorly. A bad idea executed great can still have problems, right? So, all right. So what do you think is going to happen now? What do you think of the next moves are going to be? I'll tell you what, Saquon Barkley has definitely upgraded the running back position compared to where it was headed. Is that a fair statement?
No.
Why?
Saquon got his money, and Saquon is clearly, one of the best running backs of all time. But look at all the other running backs that got signed this year. Only 1-year deals for almost all of them. And that's because in the draft, there's supposed to be this wonderful draft full of lots of good running backs. So why pay any other running back long-term or big money when you could just get one on the cheap, some rookie? So, yeah, Saquon got his, but nobody else did.
And nobody else will.
I think
nobody else will.
I think he's setting the market. I think once a guy starts producing, they come off those rookie contracts. We'll see what happens, right? They got to produce because they proved that, having a running back can make a big difference. It also helped the Baltimore, but Baltimore they don't know what to do. They're doing in the playoffs. Even the Bills. Even Bills didn't use their running back when they needed. Think about the teams that were winning, and then when they needed to, other than the Philadelphia, didn't leverage their quarterback. Didn't leverage their running back. Cook wasn't in the game on several short downs, short and third, right? Derrick Henry had less than 20 carries in the playoff game. I mean, Saquon had 26 carries and only 51 yards, but they still made sure he got the ball 26 times. So the guys who had good running backs, those coaches just went away from it and lost. It cost them. So, I mean, I think it's still valuable to have a running back. It's just a matter of, it just takes time. I think they're coming back. I think
but you're not going to pay, the future running backs, $20 million a year like he's getting right now, because like they said, he's a generational talent. So he's going to get his now. And the only one that's really close is like Derrick Henry. But he's 31 years old. You're not going to pay a 31-year-old running back $20 million a year. or McCaffrey. He had set the bar.
Remember, no one thought they were going to break McCaffrey's. He was at like 16. No one thought that anyone would get paid more than McCaffrey at any given time because the way the position for running back was going. Right. So now Barkley, stayed healthy the whole year. He's a great player. Man, I'm happy for him. Happy to win the Super Bowl. Happy won the Super Bowl. All right, little gentlemen. Been interesting going around and round and round. I'm actually enjoying watching the Lakers with Luka Doncic. Just so you know.
I don't think in the future anybody's going to shoot.
What's that?
What?
Did you freeze on me, Byron? Joe, you there?
I think I'm here. I think Byron did freeze.
He said something in the future and then he froze. He's in the past. Are you frozen? Okay, you can't tell if you're moving. Byron, you're frozen.
What? But now I can hear you now. I didn't hear you before.
All we heard was in the future.
Oh, they're not going to be paying running backs in the future $20 million a year like Saquon's getting right now. I don't think it's going to go back that high again. Really don't. It's just a ton of running backs.
They pay for talent. If there's some superstar that comes along, then maybe they will. And then these things go in cycles. Right now, wide receivers are all the rage, and the passing is all the rage. But maybe running will be all the rage, and it will be the trend. And then running backs will be valuable again. It just goes in cycles.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Joey. Tell us about your show and how can our fans get a hold of you.
Donut Bag Podcast right here on the Sportscast Network every Monday night, usually around 7 p.m. There's just a lot to talk about with the Steelers, and if we end up with Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. We might have to make a daily podcast because there's going to be so much going on, and we just need therapy sessions to get through it because it's going to be bonkers.
So you can catch the link to the to the donut bag in the link below. Hit the link below and watch Joey. It's every Monday. You said, Joey?
Yep, Monday nights.
Monday nights. Check in the Monday nights. You want to hear more about Pittsburgh and around the league. It's in the donut bag. Mr. Jones, I'm surprised you're back. When are you leaving again?
I just left. I was in Poconos last week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna need Joey. I'm gonna need your help. Because I'm going into conference season coming up. So from March 27th forward, I'm gone for like 4 weeks, man. So I don't
sign me up, man. Hey, I'll show up anytime. I love talking to you guys.
Must be nice.
I may need you. No, I need you to cover for me because I gotta go.
Whatever, man.
I'm traveling. I'm traveling a lot from March 27th on. It's pretty much a whole month. I'll be in and out. Back and forth from Miami.
Anytime you need me, I'm here.
I'll be in Mexico twice. Then I'll be in Nashville. Then I'll be in Arizona and Orlando. I mean, it's just gonna be racking up those miles.
Must be nice.
Must be right. Yeah, I don't get to just chill out in the Poconos like you. So I got to work standing.
Ocean City's coming up next.
I want to tell you, Ocean City. That's where I would like to go to. Hey, I want to tell you something. I tell our fans out here, whenever you get a prescription, double check and talk to the pharmacist to make sure that's what you should be getting and how much you should get. Don't take it for granted like I did. I literally was given, I don't tell the world this, but I was overprescribed vitamin D to the point that I ended up getting like vitamin D toxicity. Like it was terrible. I was supposed to only take one 50 IU a week, and then after that take 1,000 units over the counter. They gave me 50,000 IUs per week and then 50,000 per day.
Good Lord,
dude! I'm getting blood work. They told me to stop it, and I'm getting blood work done tomorrow to see where my level is to bring it back down because I didn't know that 1 in 4 people have vitamin D deficiency, and I live in Florida. So you think I'd be out in the sun, but you don't
Yeah,
get
really,
vitamin D
you
from
get
the sun, but you get it from a lot of
exactly.
other areas, right? But it was amazing
Yeah.
to me how somebody messed up. The pharmacy, the doctor, somebody messed up. But thank God I caught it because I was just having problems, and it was ended up my back. By the time I was in problems, and I asked the pharmacist, "Can vitamin D do this to you?" She goes, "No, it shouldn't." He goes, "Well, how much you taking?" I go, "I don't know. You guys prescribed it for me. Can you check?" The lady went to go check. She goes, "Bring it back in tomorrow right away. Stop taking it.
Oh my
There's no way
God.
you should be taking that amount." So I go, normally they explain it to you. So just learn word to the wise, get a prescription, double check it, make sure that's what you should be taking. Ask them if you have any questions, right? I never thought a vitamin can be that so much effective as that. But if you read up on it, like, if you take, vitamin D toxicity, go look at all the stuff, kidney stones, a whole bunch of stuff. So I hope, I caught it early enough. But it takes like months to get out of your system. Is that crazy?
Yeah, any vitamin, if you take too much of it, it's going to do a lot of damage, like
Yep.
potentially deadly damage. Be very careful with that.
Yeah. So I learned anyhow. All right, well, gentlemen, you have a good night. Don't forget every Thursday at 8 p.m. live on YouTube, the Jersey Boy Sports Talk, talking sports around the league, talking about what's happening, all the trading. Don't forget about Joey, bag of donuts and donut bag. Mr. Jones is wearing LSU's. He's not wearing the Detroit Lions like his family. And I appreciate everything you do.
Never.
Enjoy Ocean City. And everybody have a good night. God bless. And until next week, we'll talk again. And Joe, I'll probably hit you up. Don't forget, I'll be out, so I may need you co-hosting for me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, brother. Take care. Byron, talk to you soon.
Yep.
Peace.